Hello everyone. In the previous lecture I was discussing about the formation of depletion layer, in which I have discussed the how the depletion layer is formed and what is the barrier potential. In this lecture I am going to discuss how the current flows in the p-n junction diode and how the depletion layer, width of depletion layer reduces and increases. So, first of all, what is biasing? Biasing is the method of applying an external voltage across the device or p-n junction diode is known as biasing. There are two types of biasing. First is forward biasing and second is reverse biasing. First of all, what is forward biasing? Forward biasing is the method, or you can say when the external voltage is applied across the p-n junction diode in such a direction so that the width of depletion region or the barrier potential reduces, is known as forward biasing. Or you can say when p type of semiconductor, p side of the p-n junction diode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and n side of the p-n junction diode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, then this connection is known as forward biasing, or this biasing method is known as forward biasing. In forward biasing condition, how the depletion layer, how the width of depletion layer reduces? When we apply or when we connect the p side of the p-n junction diode to the positive terminal of the battery and n side of this p-n junction diode to the negative terminal of the battery, what will happen? The negative terminal will start pushing the electrons towards the n side of the p-n junction diode, and same will happen here. The positive terminal of the applied voltage or external voltage source will repel the majority charge carriers of the p side of the p-n junction diode. Then what will happen? The depletion layer formed in case of no bias condition will start reducing. How it will reduce? This negative charge that has the electrons that has been pushed by the negative terminal of the battery will start converting the immobile ion into the mobile ion. Same will happen here. The holes pushed, the majority charge carriers, or you can say the holes pushed towards the p side of the p-n junction diode will start converting the immobile ions depleted at the junction into the mobile ions. As a result, the width of the depletion layer will reduce. This process will continue. This process will continue, and the width, or you can say the charge depleted at the side of the p-n junction will collapse to each other, and the width of the depletion layer will become narrower. As a result, the majority charge carriers will start flowing, or you can say the majority charge carriers of the n side and majority charge carriers of the p side of the p-n junction diode will start flowing from p side to n side and n side to p side, and they will constitute the majority carrier current, that is forward bias current. When the diode is forward bias, as I told you that I am connecting the positive terminal to the positive terminal of the battery to the p side of the p-n junction diode and negative terminal of the battery to the n side of the p-n junction diode. So in case of forward bias, it can be seen that by applying the forward bias voltage, this voltage, we are just reducing the, or we are decreasing the width of the depletion layer. By reducing the width of the depletion layer, we are reducing the junction resistance, or you can say the forward resistance of the PN junction diode, or you can say the resistance in case of forward bias condition. So in case of forward bias condition, because the majority charge carriers can cross the junction by applying a fixed forward bias voltage, so in case of forward bias condition, in ideal condition, the PN junction diode behaves as a short circuit, or you can say in ideal condition, the resistance, forward resistance of the PN junction diode is 0. Next is reverse bias condition. What is reverse bias? When external voltage is applied in such a direction which increases the barrier potential of the junction is known as reverse biasing, or you can say when P side of the PN junction diode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery and N side of the PN junction diode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, the biasing condition is known as reverse biasing. How the width of the depletion layer increases? Because we have connected the P side of the semiconductor, P side of the PN junction diode to the negative terminal of the battery and N side of the PN junction diode to the positive terminal of the battery, then what will happen? The negative terminal will start attracting the majority charge carriers of the P side of the PN junction diode, and positive terminal will start attracting the majority charge carrier, that is electrons, of the N side of the PN junction diode. Then what will happen? These mobile ions will start converting into the immobile ion and they will start depleting at the junction. So as a result, the width of the depletion layer will increase, and this process will not continue for a long time. Then when it will stop, when the potential developed at the junction will increase, will cross the voltage applied at the external voltage applied, this process will stop. Then what will happen? This positive terminal, or you can say this positive terminal, will start attracting the minority charge carriers of the P side of the PN junction diode, and this negative charge will start attracting the minority charge carriers, that is positive charge carriers towards positive charge carriers of the N side of the PN junction diode. Then what will happen? The movement of these minority charge carriers will constitute the reverse saturation current, and they will cross the junction. So basically the reverse saturation current, or the current constituted by the minority charge carriers, is due to the thermally generated charge carriers, is just because of the thermally generated charge carriers. So you can say that the reverse saturation current is not because of this reverse bias voltage. Reverse saturation current is only constituted by the thermally generated charge carriers. So the reverse saturation, as well as the temperature increases, the thermally generated charge carriers will increase and they will constitute the reverse saturation current. In this way, the reverse saturation current or minority carrier currents are constituted. In the reverse bias condition, majority charge carriers or majority carrier current is 0. So the effect of the reverse bias voltage on the reverse saturation current is 0. The only effect on the reverse saturation current is only because of temperature. So as well as temperature increases, or you can say there is a relation between reverse saturation, there is a relation between temperature and reverse saturation current for a particular temperature, that is I naught T2. Suppose I naught T2 is the current at temperature T2 and I naught T1 is the current at temperature T1. So what will be the relation between these two currents? The relation between these two currents can be given by a relation I naught T2 is equal to 2 की power T2 minus T1 by 10 I naught T1. So you can see from here, if the temperature difference, that is T2 minus T1 is 10 or 10 degree centigrade, in that case the current will double. What will happen? Twice of I naught T1. So you can see from here that if the temperature difference between two temperature is 10 degree centigrade and the current at previous temperature, that is current at temperature T1 is I naught T1, then by increasing the temperature by 10 degree centigrade, the current will double, or you can say the reverse saturation current doubles for every 10 degree centigrade rise in temperature. This is the condition, or you can say this is the forward bias voltage for germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. So cut-in voltage for gallium arsenide is 1.2 volt, for silicon diode is 0.7 volt, for germanium diode is 0.3 volt. Now what is forward, how you can say the diode is conducting? For conduction of the diode, as I told you that you have to connect the P side of the semiconductor, P side of the PN junction diode to the positive terminal of the battery and N side to the negative terminal of the battery. It is not necessary that by making such type of connection the diode will conduct. The diode will conduct if and only if the applied voltage, the external voltage or the biasing voltage is connected in such manner. Second condition is that the applied voltage should cross the cut-in potential of the diode used. If I am using here the silicon diode, then this applied voltage should be greater than the cut-in potential, or if V is greater than 0.7 volt and I am using the silicon diode, then diode will conduct. If I am using the applied voltage that is less than 0.7 volt, then this silicon diode will not conduct, because the condition is that you have to apply the forward bias voltage which is greater than the cut-in potential of the silicon diode or whatever the diode I am using in the circuit. So this is the necessary condition, that it should be connected in forward bias manner. For connecting in forward bias manner, you have to connect the P side of the PN junction diode to the positive terminal of the battery and N side of the PN junction diode to the negative terminal of the battery. Second condition is that the applied voltage, that is V, should be greater than the cut-in potential of the cut-in potential of the PN junction diode. Now come to the diode. As I have already told you that in case of reverse bias condition, diode is having the width of the depletion layer is very high, or width of the depletion layer increases. So if the width of depletion layer increases, it means in case of reverse bias condition the diode behaves as an open circuit, or you can say the resistance across the PN junction diode is infinite. But in case of forward bias condition, the diode behaves as a short circuit. This is the condition for reverse bias and this is condition for forward bias. Now come to the diode current equation. This equation is also known as Shockley equation. So in this, from this equation you can see that ID is forward current or diode current, IS is reverse saturation current, VD is diode voltage, VT is volts equivalent of temperature. So from this equation it is clear that ID is equal to IS e की power VD by eta VT minus 1. So you can see that here in this equation we can say that there is a relation between forward current and forward voltage. So what is the relation? The relation between forward current and forward voltage is exponential. So you can say as well as forward bias voltage increases, the current flowing through the PN junction diode will increase exponentially. What does it mean? The current will flow only in case of forward bias direction, that has been constituted by majority charge carriers. But in case of reverse saturation current, majority charge carriers, majority carrier current or majority current is 0. So no need to discuss about this minority, the current flowing in the diode in case of reverse bias condition. I will discuss only the current flowing in the diode in case of forward bias condition. Okay, so VD is forward bias, VD is the diode current, ID is the current flowing in the forward bias direction or majority carrier current, IS is the reverse saturation current, eta is the implication factor. It ranges between 1 and 2. Eta is equal to 1 for germanium and 2 for silicon. It can be asked in numerical that find the forward current equation for the given diode, and the conditions will be given that if they have mentioned in the question that the used diode is silicon diode or germanium diode, then you have to consider the eta is equal to 1 for germanium and 2 for silicon. K is the Boltzmann constant, T is the temperature and Q is the electron charge. So the value of K is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23. Now come to the diode characteristic. So as I told you that the diode current, or you can say that the current flows through the diode only in case of forward bias condition. So when the diode is forward biased, the current will flow and it will increase exponentially, because it follows the diode current equation. ID is equal to IS e की power VD by eta VT minus 1. So how we can know that the current flowing through the PN junction diode is increasing exponentially, or how we can measure how we can draw the VI characteristic in the laboratory? The simple circuitry for measuring the voltage and current through the current flowing through the diode, voltage across the diode and current flowing through the diode. Voltage can be measured by the voltmeter and current can be measured by the ammeter. So what we have to do in the laboratory, we have to connect the forward bias voltage I am connecting here. So, I mean to say that I can consider this is the diode characteristic. How will I measure this characteristic? For measuring this, I will connect this p-n junction diode in this manner. This is the for measuring this VI characteristic, what will I do? We will connect the, first of all I am discussing about this forward bias characteristic. For measuring the forward bias characteristic, I will use a potentiometer. Suppose this is resistance R. By varying this voltage R, what we have to do? We have to measure the voltage across the diode and the current flowing through the diode. For measuring this, the voltage across the diode, I will use a voltmeter and I will connect a meter of milliampere capacity, and the resistance is connected here. This is the procedure. How will you measure the current flowing through the diode and the voltage across the diode? So, by varying this with the help of this potentiometer, I will vary the applied voltage or biasing voltage. After that, I will measure the voltage across the diode, that is Vd, and I will measure the current flowing through the diode. After measuring the voltage and current for different points or different voltages, you will get that the current is increasing exponentially and you will get such type of graph, or you can say it will follow this current equation. Similarly, for reverse bias condition, you have to do nothing, you have to just change the direction of the diode, and instead of using this milliampere meter in capacity of milliampere, I will use here the meter of microampere capacity. So, in case of this is for forward bias, or you can say this is for forward bias condition and this is for the reverse bias condition. Okay. So, in this way we can measure the voltage and current flowing through the diode, and you will get the graph of this VI characteristic like this. The current will increase because here why I have used here the meter of microampere capacity, because in case of reverse bias condition, the current flowing through the diode is because of minority charge carriers and the current is of the capacity of microampere or nanoampere. Therefore, we have used here the meter of microampere capacity. This is the comparison graph for VI characteristic of germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. So, it has been clearly shown in this figure that the current is increasing exponentially. After the cut in voltage, it increases slowly, but after crossing the cut in voltage, it increases exponentially. So, in case of germanium, the cut in voltage is 0.3 volt, and in case of silicon, the cut in voltage is 0.7 volt, and in case of gallium arsenide, the cut in voltage is 1.2 volt. So, before this cut in voltage, the current is increasing slightly, but the variation in the characteristics or variation in the current can be observed after when the applied voltage crosses the cut-in potential of the germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide diode. Similarly, here you can see that the reverse saturation current of gallium arsenide is very less as compared to silicon and germanium. Here the current is constant almost, or up till the current is almost constant until unless it not crosses the breakdown voltage. When it reaches to the breakdown voltage, the current suddenly increases. Similarly, in case of silicon diode, when it crosses the breakdown voltage, the current increases suddenly. Similarly, in case of germanium, when it crosses the breakdown voltage, the current increases suddenly. The question is that why silicon is preferred over the germanium? The reason is simple. the first reason is that the silicon is abundantly available in nature. Second is that silicon is more thermally stable as compared to germanium. What are the temperature effects? As I have already told you that the reverse saturation current increases by increasing the temperature. So, by increasing the temperature, the reverse saturation current increases. It has been written here. First point is it reduces the required forward bias voltage by for forward bias conduction. So, as well as we increase the temperature, the cut-in potential of the diode will decrease. It has been mentioned here. So, how will it reduce the cut-in potential of the diode? By increasing the temperature, the generation of majority charge carriers, as well as we increase the temperature, the charge more number of charge carriers will generate and it will diffuse across the junction. So, by after diffusing across the junction, it will reduce the width of the depletion layer, or you can say it will reduce the built-in potential or cut-in potential of the p-n junction diode. The relation between the temperature and cut-in potential can be given by the equation: the change in cut-in potential with respect to temperature is minus 2.5 millivolt per degree centigrade. For every 1 degree centigrade rise in temperature will decrease the cut-in potential by 2.5 millivolt. So, it has been shown in this figure. As well as we are increasing the temperature, cut-in potential decreases. As we are decreasing the temperature, cut-in potential increases. So, green color graph is showing that the VI characteristic of a p-n junction diode at 25 degree centigrade, when we increase the temperature by 100 degree centigrade, the cut-in potential of the, or you can say the graph will shift towards the y axis. As we decrease the temperature, graph will shift towards the away from the y axis. So, in this way you can see that this dash graph is showing that by increasing the temperature, graph is shifting towards the y axis and the cut-in potential is decrease. As we decrease the temperature, cut-in potential has been increased. Similarly, as you know the relation between reverse saturation current and temperature, as well as temperature increases, reverse saturation current is represented by I naught. So, I naught will increase. By increasing the temperature, the reverse saturation current increases. By decreasing the temperature, reverse saturation current decreases, and it has been shown in this figure that by increasing the temperature, the reverse saturation current has been increased, and by decreasing the temperature, it has been shifted towards upward side or origin axis. This is the diode equivalent circuit. How we can draw the VI characteristic for different equivalent circuits of diode. So, there are 3 models that has been used for drawing the equivalent circuit as well as VI characteristic of the p-n junction diode. So, for drawing the VI characteristic or for solving the numerical problem, we can consider, as we know that when the diode is forward bias, it behaves as short circuit. But in case of piecewise model, so what we have to consider, if I am talking about this is short circuit, it means what I want to say, I am saying that the resistance is 0 and the cut-in potential, that is Vk is equal to Vk is also 0. But when we are considering the piecewise linear model, we have to consider both the forward resistance as well as cut-in voltage. So, what will I do? We will put this resistance in series with cut-in potential or cut-in voltage. So, this is the equivalent model for this p-n junction diode, which is connected in which is forward bias. When it is forward bias, how will I draw the VI characteristic? I will simply connect this with forward bias voltage and I will apply the KVL. So, what will I do here? I will replace this ideal diode by short circuit. When I will replace this ideal diode by short circuit, what will happen? I will simply apply V minus Vk minus, suppose the current flowing through this is I or ID. So ID into RAV is equal to 0. So it is clear from this equation that this is Vd. Okay, no problem. This is the forward voltage in this graph had been shown, this Vd. So I will consider this Vd. So what will be the value of Vd, or you can say Vd is equal to Vk plus Id into RAV. So from this equation you can see that until unless, or you can say Vd minus Vk is equal to Id into RAV, until unless the applied voltage, if the applied voltage is not crossing the cut-in voltage, the current flowing through the diode will be 0. When it crosses the cut-in potential, the graph will follow this equation, Vd is equal to Vk plus Id RAV. So the graph is like this, Vk is this point, so the graph will increase linearly and follow this Id into RAV. So in the next simplified model, in the simplified model what we have considered? We have considered the resistance RAV is equal to 0. When this resistance RAV is equal to 0, we will consider only the cut-in potential. When we will consider the cut-in potential, what will happen? This diode will not conduct when the applied voltage is less than cut-in potential. So you can see that from here to here the current flowing through the diode is 0, but when the applied voltage is crossing this Vk cut-in potential, the current increases linearly. How it current goes linearly? Because the resistance is 0, so you can say the maximum current will flow through the diode. Similarly, in case of ideal device I have considered R is, this is like this, R is equal to 0 and Vk is equal to 0, or you can say the RAV is equal to 0 and Vk is equal to 0. So RAV is equal to 0, so in that case the diode will conduct at 0 value, it means cut-in potential is 0, the diode will conduct at 0 voltage and the current, maximum current will flow through the diode. So here it has been shown that the current flowing before 0 is 0 ampere and at 0 volt the current flowing through the diode is maximum. So this is all about regarding diode equivalent circuit. In the next lecture I will discuss diode resistance. Thank you.